Ladies and gents, welcome to another video here on the EGL channel. FIFA 22 has been out, well, officially over a week or so now, and we've kind of started to understand the meta a little bit. We're getting to grips to what we really need to do with FIFA 22, and we obviously know patches are coming, that sort of thing. The game, it's kind of getting there, and, well, the market is not really getting there. It just seems to be crashing and crashing and crashing, and it's not really doing much of my trading ability, but at the same time, what it is doing is allowing some good squads to be built for very, very cheap. Now, we're going to go through some relatively cheap squads here. I've tried to keep them away from Premier League as best as I possibly can, because, well, all I see is Premier League squads. For good reason, they are very, very good, but if you are not somebody who wants to play with the Premier League teams like everybody else does, then these are maybe the ones for you. There's a sprinkling of Premier League play in here at times, but it isn't more than one or two. This, for the most part, is comprised of Bundesliga, La Liga, Liga and Serie A teams. And first and foremost, we're going to kick it off with a full Bundesliga 12k squad. Very, very sweaty looking team, and the fact that you can pick this up for 12k blows my mind straight off the rip. And again, just so you guys know, this is more so for a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1 wide players, or players that can play a wide cam and left or right cam, and like that sort of thing is kind of what you want. It's based on 4 attackers, 2 central midfielders, which are more defensive orientated, and then yeah, 4 back, of course. Let's delve into it. And this is the first one, the Bundesliga squad. Let's start from the back. Obviously, the keeper in that's Herdecki. That doesn't really matter. It was just kind of, he was in there for the strong link. This Tapsoba when I was playing around with different right back options, because that's the only real failing, I would say, of this team. Mukele, 80 pace, isn't necessarily the greatest right back. Put a shadow on him, and his pace is going to be decent. We know that pace isn't necessarily too bad for the defensive side of things this year in terms of trying to, well, stop these attackers getting on through. But at the same time, it's not bad to have in your back pocket. However, Mukele, he does the job. He's got good defensive stats. Does my cat need to be doing that? Completely lost my train of thought whilst the cat was destroying my wardrobe to my left-hand side. But yeah, okay, so the defense is pretty decent. Schultz in there, left back, does a really solid job. And these are all like, what? I mean, obviously, with it being a 12k team, not many of these guys come in at any more than okay. Akanji, I think, is the most expensive player, probably alongside Marlon, but no, Marlon's even very, very cheap as well. So let's continue into it. Let's move in the midfield. Obviously, Adams and Lima in the middle. There's maybe another option for Adams, but with the strong pace, strong defensive, strong physicals, I thought it would be a good option. He'd probably be a more defensive player, just with the probably better passing ability of Lima going forward. Lima obviously with 3-star, 3-star, Adams 3-star, 3-star, both very, very cheap. Let's move into the more attacking options though. Silas out wide right, Diaby out wide left. I think my only thing here is if you've got a couple of more coins to upgrade Silas, I would. But if you like the 5-star skills, if you like the dribbling, then he's a really good player. Diaby, you can maybe change that up actually. I did see one player in particular that I thought you could go for the left midfield side, and that was Hazard. If you wanted to play somebody maybe in a little bit more of a cam position, then maybe go with Hazard. But if you want somebody more wide, Diaby's a really good fit at 94 pace. He's absolutely rapid. Finishing not the greatest, but dribbling good. Passing's decent enough to get it into your strikers, being Bebu and Marlon. Bebu obviously very, very pacey, very, very cheap. Marlon very pacey, very, very cheap. This is a 12k squad. You're going to get what you get. But I think for the money, especially, the defense is very, very solid. The CDMs are very, very good and will do a job. And I think Marlon's actually really good in that upfront area as well. I think if you can feed into him, get him behind those low dribblings, are going to do the job. But there's the 12k squad. Let's move into the next one. This one's probably my favorite out of all the ones that I did build up. We're going to go with a complete full Serie A team here. And I just really like the way that this one's worked out. Let's start from the back, because that's probably the least interesting part of this one. We're going to delve into the fun bit. But the backside of things, the centre backs, Tomori and Manolas, very, very solid. 80 plus pace on both of them. It's what you want to have. The passing out obviously is going to be difficult for them, but just R1 pass it out, and I'm sure they'll probably find a 30 yarder. Absolutely no problem. Fullbacks, nothing to write home about. The defensive stats on the side of Haps is not fantastic, but at the same time, there's not a great deal of good players who you can put in there who aren't around 14k or so. Spinazzola would obviously be your option, the left back, but too expensive. At right back, your option is probably Cuadrado, too expensive. Marusic, if you want to swap him out, there's a couple of other right backs in the league that are very, very quick, but I think Marusic looks good in terms of a good balance from pace and defense and decent dribbling. Can pass it out, no problem. But as I said, Tomori and Manolas would be very, very good. Now in the CDM positions, You might be thinking, well, there's only one central midfielder player there. There's one that looks really good as a central midfielder player that plays on the left wing, and that is Gosens. He's coming in at what you can't see in the video is 1.1k. And I'm just curious, let's delve into his card for a second. So looking at Gosens' card, he's coming at 1200 coins. And let's just have a look at the stats and also the traits. Okay, doesn't necessarily have everything in the trait side of things, only 3-3, but high attacking work rate, high defensive work rates, as well as really good pace, really good defending and physicality. I mean, great defending and physicalities, as well as the ability to pass that ball forward, the ability to potentially shoot. He has a little bit of everything. He's just, those stats to me, if he was a central midfield player, he would cost as much as somebody like Kessie. That's how much he would be. And I think if you could slot it in, you take advantage of some of the decent central players that are in Serie A, he's a really good option. But let's jump back to the squad. So Gosens will be playing in midfield with Barella, who's actually went up a lot. He's a big chunkier budget is Barella, but I actually think he's really worth it. I managed to get him untradeable, which was very fortunate. But I really think he's very good in CM. Your other options after that is Kessie or Inform Barella, but I honestly think that Barella, his normal card's good enough alongside Gosens. Very good defensively and very good both. Very just good central midfielders who can do a bit of both. Won't necessarily excel at one, but will just kind of be a jack of all trades. I think those two in the midfield area would be fantastic. Now let's move on to your front four. I think this one is definitely more of a 4-2-3-1 formation. I'm going to say why, and that's because you're going to be playing Ilicic and Cam. Very good shooting, very good passing, very good dribbling. And with the upgrade this year, my man has the 5-star skill moves, which is always good to see. Outside the foot shot, long shot, flare, finesse shot, what more could you want for this game? And he's coming in at 1.8k. You whack a pace boost on him, so obviously you would probably go with a Honda or something. I don't see why you would go anything else, but you put a Honda on him and all of a sudden he's got that decent amount of pace. He has these shots from this long distance. He has the 5-star skill. Fantastic Cam. Kind of similar stats, if not a little bit better outside of the pace to somebody like Sancho or somebody like that. Very good card for the money. I'd have him and Cam. Out wide, I've had Mertens. I'd probably go with Mertens and Chiesa. Chiesa's very good out wide on the right. Very quick. Can put a good ball in and can shoot as well. His dribbling's really nice. Mertens with the 85 pace is just about enough to get him out wide, obviously with a Hunter on him, but still has decent passing, good shooting. He's one of these that can cut in. And then of course Muriel, you would have him up top. You could go for Immobile, but I kind of prefer Muriel. He's probably, well, he does have the best shooting on this team outside of Ilicic. Get him in there. Low drivens, they will go in. That's probably my favorite squad out of the lot, but we've got two more to go through. Let's jump into the next one. Okay, well, we're starting to get a little bit more serious on the coins side of things here. Let's just delve straight into what is mostly a La Liga team. Now, La Liga's kind of being, well, uprooted, essentially, since we've lost Messi in this one now. You don't necessarily have too many big dogs to go towards at this moment in time, especially in the striking position. But let's talk about the defense first. We went relatively cheap for the defense because 76 pace and 78 pace is more than enough. Anything over 75 is going to do you the job. Diego Carlos, Nacho Fernandez are coming in very cheap. The reason we went cheap is because we haven't went cheap when we're going forward. So Nacho Fernandez coming in at 1.950, Diego Carlos coming at 1.4k. With the keeper Bunu, this was because I had a little bit left. And I think the thing is with the centre backs in this league, they're either 30 or 40k or like one, and these are kind of the best options from the cheaper side of things, which I think you can do when you're looking at the going forward in the midfield. I think it's worth the sacrifice. If you do want to change things around, Militao is absolutely sensational. Koundé is really good as well, but that's going to cost you an extra 70k than what these guys will do. Is it 70k difference when you're playing with 150 for a team? I think you're going to spread it out maybe in different areas. Jesus Navas coming in at right back, probably one of the better right backs in that league. His physical's not great, but if you can get in front of somebody, get round them, you've got the 87 pace to do so, and he can also pass it out and get himself forward very nicely. Somebody who surprises me greatly, and I still have in my team's costing about 400-500k, is Renan Lodi. I don't know why he's so good. It bewilders me. Like, outside the shooting, it's a very well-rounded card, but even the 84 pace, I was a little bit like, oh, okay, it's not that much. Shadow on him, endgame. That's literally it. Like, you get it done. And you put him up to that 94 pace, and he's absolutely rapid. It's really strange, but he's always in the right position. He's always intercepting. He's always bombing forward as well. But as I said, he always seems to be in the right position. He comes across very nicely. I think he's a fantastic fullback. I haven't used Navas as mentioned, but he does have that pace that will help him out. Let's move into the central midfield, and then we will move on to the attack and then the final team. Camavinga in there. Honestly, I looked at his stats when the game first came out, and I thought, oh yeah, he looks okay. He's really, really good. But for the stats, you would expect him to be a lot worse than what he is. You would have played him in game. It's his physicality. He gets in and around the ball. He's very, very strong and seems to just find passes, find good shots, and is very good at breaking up that play. Now, this is a more defensive CDM pairing because we went with Valverde. He is worth every single coin that you will spend on him. 29,000. He's in my team as well. Absolutely sensational. He's all over the place, so strong. Defensive stats are fantastic. He can move forward, he can shoot, he can score, he can pass, he's got really good pace at 86. You put a shadow on him, as said, get a little bit sweaty, put up his defense, put up his pace. Absolutely sensational player. Let's move into the attack anyway. We've went very skill orientated in this one because, well, we needed to save some money so we could afford Usman. But let's go with the first one, and somebody who I would be playing in Cam in this position, or in a 4-4-2 up front with Felix. Papu Gomez. It has to be. I mean, he's coming in with a very, very nice card. Good pace, good dribbling, good passing. Really is a perfect Cam and does have that shooting ability as well. Coming in terms of the traits as well, okay, he's got outside the foot shot, that's pretty much it. But 4-star, short and lean, it's what you kind of want. He can really wriggle in and around on the outside of the box and cause a lot of problems. Out wide, I mean, if you can afford it for Vinicius, then go for it. If not, his normal card looks really, really good as well. Absolutely rapid, has those 5-star skills, and the only one that I would say really does surpass him is Usman Dembele on the other side because he's 5-star, and also has better shooting, better passing, and, well, dribbling is pretty much the same. But very, very good out wide on the right. That's where a lot of your coins are going into, because that's the only thing with La Liga, is that there's a severe lack of good wingers. They're either, as said, guys like this, Vinicius and Dembele being the higher end, or it's coming down to like Portus, etc, etc. And up front, I went with João Felix. I really like him. He's got a good finesse on him. I hasn't even got the trait. No, he doesn't, surprisingly, because honestly, his finesses do seem to go in quite a lot for me, and that's kind of the meta at the moment. But he's really good at finding those little bits of space. His dribbling feels really responsive, and honestly, it's just a good 5-star skill team. Skills aren't necessarily as good this year, but if you want to have fun and go in there and go with the skills, I like to use it. I've got Felix in my team, Sancho in my team, Pogba in my team. I'm trying to think else. I've definitely got other 5-star skillers, but nonetheless, it's still fun to do. The flip-flops are still pretty decent, but some of the skills are just really fun this year. Try them out, but I do quite like the squad. Coming in at 150k. Let's go into the final one and then close out the video. Right then, here we go into the sweaty one, it has to be said. This is kind of a mix-up between, well, the one Premier League player that we have in there, Bundesliga. I think we got them all. Apart from Serie A. We got them all apart from Serie A. We got Liga, we got La Liga, we have the Premier League, and then we have the Bundesliga, all rolled into one little hybrid that's going to cost you about 200k. Pretty much on the button. Let's go from the back straight away. We're going to go with Lopez just to get the strong link really to Denaya. And look, Keepers is kind of a funny one at this moment in time, it has to be said. I think, honestly, Lopez will probably still do you a very decent job, although I have not used him myself, so if he is bad, sacrifice the chem on Denaya. But don't get rid of Denaya because he's got 83 pace, 81 defending, and 81 physical, as well as that 71 dribbling. Very, very nice card. Very quick boy. Kimpembe next to him, fantastic centre back. He's so annoying to play against. He's so big and he's so quick. He's such a frustrating centre back to play against. One of the ones I don't like playing against the absolute least. If you have a little bit more coins and you don't want Denaya, Sergio Ramos is not a bad shout. His pace doesn't look great, but he's still solid as a rock. If he's sitting back and you're jockeying and you're moving backwards on him, he's very, very difficult to get past. Going in at left back is Ruslan, just for the soft links. I think he's probably one of the better left backs on the game. Very, very quick, good defending, etc. His passing's good enough. He's a rock solid player. Coming in at right back, we got Dest just for the strong link to Dembele. Those guys are kind of just on their own out there, and that's all we need them to do. Dembele is coming in there and filling in the gap. And honestly, this kind of started as a League One team, and they just don't have the wingers if you don't have millions of coins. If you don't have the money for Messi, if you don't have the money for Neymar, they don't have the wingers, essentially. And I found myself kind of like, well, what else can we change here? Immediately thought of Saint-Maximin as a left midfielder, coming in as French, got lots of good links in the central and the left back position, put him in there, very, very good player. As said, you've got him for the pace, you've got him for the dribbling, you've got him for the 5-star skills, not so much for the shooting and the passing, but you can maybe rectify that with a chemistry style, of course. Dembele on the right, we've already talked about him, still a very, very good player. Let's move it into the midfield. We've just got it this way just so we can get some strong links so everybody can kind of link up together. But Ronaldo, Sanchez and Wijnaldum be playing in the middle. You'd have Ronaldo probably as your mainstay at back kind of guy. Just a bit more physicality about him, has that high work rate as well. I'm not sure what Wijnaldum's is actually. Let's just have a little double check. So he's high as well. So you've got two players who are high, 4-star, and your central midfield option, very, very good. I still think Wijnaldum's the guy to get forward. His passing's better, his shooting's better. See what he can do from there. Ronaldo, have him on stay back, have Wijnaldum on balanced. Then going forward, Ben Yedder, Boadu. Now, Boadu was kind of a bit of a weird option, I think, but it's just the issue with not many people fitting, and he fits very, very nicely. I will say, though, you have a look at his card, and we'll just move that over so you guys can see it. A really good pace and the 5-star weak foot. Ben Yedder with the 5-star weak foot as well. Ben Yedder's a fantastic card. He's coming in at, what, 37k on the PlayStation, 20k on the Xbox, etc. He's very, very good. Boadu also has that 5-star weak foot. Shooting might not be quite as good, dribbling might not be quite as good, a little bit more pace, but if you're firing the ball into their feet with good players with passing ability, you can go left or right, and it doesn't matter. You're going to find the back of the net if you can get a good strike off with either foot. Because of that, it's a fantastic option. You're going to pass it into one of your two strikers or Carmen striker. They're not going to have a clue which way you want to go. And on top of that, you got 5-star Dembele. You have so many good weak foot options in this front line. All but 3 out of your 4 attackers have 5-star weak foot. I mean, it doesn't matter who the hell they are at this point. I think it's a good squad. I really, really like every single one we put together. I do like this one. I honestly think the Serie A one is probably my favorite for the coins. This one coming in at 450k. I think if I had 450k, 45k, I think if I had 45k just to throw another squad together to maybe play around with, I'd probably do this. Or maybe just sell all the rest of your team and go with this one instead. I think it's so solid for the coins. I'd argue on paper it's maybe a little bit better than that one, but don't tell whoever made this video, being me. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think of the squads below. Are you going to use any of them? Do you see any changes that you'd maybe put in there to maybe mix up? Do you like the fact that Boadu is in this team? See how he goes. He might not be good enough, I'm not too sure. 5-star weak foot, though, it enticed me in. As said, though, let me know what you think of the teams. Let me know if you use them. Leave a like on the video, comment if you are not subscribed, and we will see you for the next video.